Welcome back to the 2-Minute Warning. Today I'm taking a look at the Washington football team and going over whether or not I think they should trade for all-pro cornerback Xavien Howard. But before we get into that topic, question for those of you viewing, put your GM hat on. Let me see your GM skills. What, in your opinion, is Xavien Howard's trade value worth? You think it's worth 2 first-round picks, a first-round pick and a third, a first-round pick and a player, whatever you think it is, comment down below. But getting straight into it, to me, you can look at this right away one of two ways. The first way is Washington. We're right on the brink of being a top 5. We are a top 5 defense, being on the brink of being top 3, top 1. We get Xavien Howard. We officially are the number 1 defense in the NFL. Why would we not at least pursue it in a way of finding out, making a phone call, figuring out what it's going to cost? Or you could look at it the other way. Our defense is fine. We don't need to touch it. Just leave it how it is. Ron Rivera is going to make it get done. We'll be number 1 defense either way. What we need to worry about is Ryan Fitzpatrick, in the offense and figure out what we're going to get there. Look at it one of two ways. You might be, stuck in the middle, Well, I don't think we need them. I do think our offense is the thing we need to worry about more. But, if they're going to give them away for, just a first-round pick, then I'm open to it. Maybe you're stuck in the middle. In my opinion, I'm kind of stuck in the middle. It really all depends on the price. Washington, looking at their defense, they don't need an Xavien Howard, but it wouldn't hurt. Looking at the defense, like I said, you got Chase Young, the up-and-comer, Montez Sweat, 2 great pass rushers that are up-and-coming. That's going to be a lethal pass rush duo. I think I've already predicted them to both get double-digit sacks for a number of reasons. They're both just getting more reps. They have more experience. It's the best defense they've been on together, and there's going to be 17 games for them to work it out. In the along that pass rush in the front 4, you got Deron Payne and Jonathan Allen. Those 4 guys are all first-round picks that Washington's worked on over the few years, so they put some time into it. Linebacker core, I had my concerns, but they addressed it this year, getting Jamin Davis. I don't expect him to captain that defense and captain the front 7 day 1, but I do think in time he could develop into the captain of that team. I think right now Chase Young's actually holding the captain crown, but still, I wouldn't be surprised if Jamin Davis is directing the defense at some point in time. Looking at the secondary, it's improved a lot this year. I had my concerns when they lost Ronald Darby, but they replaced him with an even better corner. They got William Jackson, they got Landon Collins, they got Kendall Fuller, they got Cameron Curl. They have Bobby McCain. They signed him. I'm a pretty big fan of this defense all around. Again, I had my concern as a linebacker. They fixed it. I had my concerns at losing Ronald Darby. They fixed it. It's a top 5 defense for a reason. They have arguably the best front 4 in the NFL. I'd give it to either them or the Bucs, but that's a debate for a different video. Looking at the offense, I'm relatively a fan of the O-line. I don't think it's the best in the league, but I definitely think it's above average and definitely one of the better ones in the league. No doubt, especially after keeping Brandon Scherf, and they drafted Samuel Cosme in the 2nd round. They got a good tackle, they got a good guard. I do think Samuel Cosme is going to take a time to develop, but in time, I do think he will pan out. Receiving core, I'm a pretty big fan of Scary Terry. I think he's a top 15 receiver probably. Maybe with Fitzpatrick, he could break the top 10 threshold. I like him getting his buddy Curtis Samuel to come over. I like them drafting De'Ami Brown. I like Logan Thomas to have his best year ever. I like Antonio Gibson in the backfield and Jared Kissick. 2 great receiving backs. I'm hoping Antonio Gibson right now I think he's right around top half backs in the NFL, but I do think he could reach top 10 The only reason I'm holding him back from top 10 today, top 12 today, is because last year he didn't get a lot of reps. He wasn't handed over the baton right away as a starter. He had to earn it, and then when he did, he went down with an injury. But do I think the raw skill and the pure talent is there 100%? I just need to actually see it come into fruition before I give him that top 10, top 12 title. Washington, they got a great team. I like them to make the playoffs this year. But Xavien Howard, a guy that's kind of on the trading block, not really, but we kind of know, and we officially know, he's unhappy with Miami. He's unhappy with his contract. He's unhappy with the Dolphins and is not showing up to camp. And another way to look at it outside of do we want to improve our defense, worry about the offense, is the price, Giving up draft capital and then signing a guy who's the 6th highest paid cornerback in the league and still isn't happy. Do we want to forfeit that much money over in a cap situation we're kind of already struggling with for the most part? Not that it's super, super tight, but $20 million cornerback, it's going to be tight for any team. That is something to consider. However, if I'm Ron Rivera in that front office, I'm making a phone call to Chris Greer, to Brian Flores. I'm at least going to figure out what he costs. If Miami answers says, oh, we want 3 firsts for him, hang up. Don't even say no, just hang up. But if it's like, well, we're hoping for 2 firsts, but that's the starting point, and maybe you could work it down to use a first in, here's a first and a third in 2022, and here's a fourth in 2023, then I'm at least considering it, But to put it in reference, Jalen Ramsey, a guy that's pretty on par with Xavien Howard. I think they're pretty close. They're both top 5 corners. Jalen Ramsey might be number 1, and Xavien Howard might be 3 or 4, but still, they're pretty close. Ramsey went for 2+ firsts. Jamal Adams, one of the better safeties in the league, he went for 2 firsts, and he might have gone for 2 thirds as well, if I'm not mistaken. So it would be hard to get Xavien Howard under 2 first-round picks, but he's a top 5 corner in the league. He's on par with Jalen Ramsey, Jair Alexander, Stephon Gilmore, Tre'Davious White, Marlon Humphrey. He's up there with any of those guys in the league, and therefore it's at least tempting. Do I think Washington needs him? Are they desperate? Are they like the Cowboys where they're just struggling for anyone in their secondary and in their defense? No, not by any means. Washington does not need them, but if they want him to make this the best defense in the league, if they can get a best defense in the league, this could be a Super Bowl team, and I'm serious about that. I'm not just, for this, what I'm about to bring up, this analogy, I'm not trying to compare Peyton Manning and Ryan Fitzpatrick in the macro as a whole, as their whole careers, as whole legends. I'm not comparing them the slightest, but I am comparing them in a specific season. Peyton Manning's last year, he was throwing ducks, he was being benched, he looked awful, he was forced into retirement, no one was going to keep him, but he won a Super Bowl ring because he had the best defense in the league. He had a Von Miller, a DeMarcus Ware, a Shaq Barrett, a Aqib Talib, a Chris Harris Jr. Washington, they could do the same thing. If Ryan Fitzpatrick could be like Peyton Manning and just coast along, not necessarily carry the team, but just not drag the team down and have the defense do all the work, they could be a Super Bowl contender. Again, I'm not comparing Peyton Manning and Ryan Fitzpatrick as icons in a whole together, but in their specific season, Peyton Manning's last year, and Ryan Fitzpatrick, he's in one of his last years. This could be his last year. Maybe an all-time defense could get the job done again if you get an Xavien Howard on the team. I'm not saying it's impossible to do that even without Xavien Howard, but I feel like if you add Xavien Howard, now you seriously could be a threat and literally win a Super Bowl. I still think without him, they could be a contender, but with them, they could be not just a contender, but a favored. That's how crazy he is, but there's risk, of course. Xavien Howard's the 6th highest paid cornerback in the league, yet he's still unhappy with this contract. I don't know if Washington wants to deal with that drama and situation. Ron Rivera doesn't like making big moves. He doesn't like drama by any means, and I don't blame him. I'm not saying he's wrong for that, but I am saying that could stop them from making this move. Again, I'm not saying Washington needs to do this or should do this, but in my opinion, I'm making the phone call and seeing what he costs. If I could get away with the first-round pick and a player, here's a first-round pick, and I was going to say here's Bobby McCain, but clearly Miami doesn't want him. Here's a first-round pick. We'll give you, what do I want on there? Give him, here's a first-round pick, and we'll give you a Daron Payne, a Jonathan Allen. Yeah, that hurts, but if you get a top 5 corner, Jonathan Allen's not a top 5 defensive lineman in the league, it might be worth it. And I'm not saying that has to be it, but that's just something to work off to really lighten the load off of 2 first-round picks. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Washington's like 2 first-round picks, steal, done, we'll do it today. Or maybe they're like, we're just not interested in a trade. I don't know. I'm just open to making a phone call and seeing what I could get at cost. Maybe you give a first-round pick in Jerick McKissick. You already got Antonio Gibson. It hurts your depth in the backfield, but if you trust Antonio Gibson's health for the long run, you might not need it. It's just a starting point. I'm not saying any of these trades that I came up with are going to happen, but I do think they're all decent conversations to at least consider. You guys tell me, though, do you agree with my take? Are you kind of in the middle where it's like, we don't need them, we really don't, but I'm stuck in the middle. If the price is right, I got to make it happen. Or are you like, we need them, I'll pay 2 first-round picks and then some, get Xavien Howard on this team, I want a Super Bowl? Or are you just not even close, I want nothing to do with them, keep them away, I have no desire to have Xavien Howard on the Washington football team? Tell me your take. You all for him, all against him, stuck in the middle like me? I want to hear it. And comment down below. Give me your opinions, give me your takes, give me your comments. Maybe it'll change my mind. I'm open-minded, I'm unbiased, I'm willing to take what you guys have to say and understand it and really take it into consideration to change my mind as well. But we'll just have to see. And referring back to the question of the day, trade package for Xavien Howard. Tell me what you guys think. I already gave mine. I think he's worth about 2 first, but I would see if I could try and lower that price just a little bit. As always, and of course, guys, I truly, truly appreciate it. Thank you for watching. 2 in the morning.